Welcome to another edition of Nightmare Stories of the Otherside. Tonight we welcome in Jill Shelley. She is the owner of the Boyd House here in Minnesota and the haunted 1861 Masonic Lodge in Keithsburg, Illinois. Welcome in, Jill, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, I just always been fascinated by the paranormal since I was a young kid and had my first experience at my grandma's house. And that kind of fueled my passion a little bit to pursue the paranormal and just kind of got into it probably in 2010 as far as investigating. And just by going to places to investigate, kind of got the idea that'd be cool to have my own haunted locations. And so I started out in 2018 with the Boyd House and then redid that and decided to move on and do a bigger building. So then I bought the lodge in Illinois, and that's where we're kind of currently at.
So
That's
back in
awesome.
yeah, back in 2010 when you started investigating, do you remember what your first location was?
Yeah, it was actually, ironically, the apartment building that my daughter was the caretaker of. And there was one particular apartment that, they kept, she didn't tell me anything really about anything that happened other than like they kept seeing something in the kitchen. And then after a cross kept getting thrown off the wall, they decided they were done and they were going to move out. So I went in there just to try to figure out what it was. Um, and I was there by myself originally, and in the kitchen, all of a sudden I got like really, really cold chills all around me. I could just feel like something was there, and then all of a sudden the K2 was going to red, and then we were doing the communication with the K2 meter. I actually got in an EVP. We started to play games. I actually got an EVP of a little kid that says, "Neener, neener, neener, you can't catch me." Like
Oh,
that was like the
nice.
fullest, longest EVP. That was my very first EVP I captured too. So I was like, this is amazing.
Right.
And so, determined it was a girl. I didn't know really why she died, but she was there with her mother as well. Um, but interesting enough, so when I kind of gave my findings, then my daughter kind of revealed it's like, yes, it is a little girl that they would see come into the kitchen, but she didn't want to tell me anything because she just wanted to see what I would come up with. So yeah, that was my first actual investigation. And then our first one that we did out of state that we paid to go to was the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Nice. That's definitely, hopefully someday I can get down there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, and I was really, really nervous and everything just because it was our very first place of that nature and also with the history behind with the Axe Murder House and things. But we got a lot of Class A EVPs. Like we actually had the kids talking to each other. One said, "You want to play?" The other one said, "No way." Lena, which was one of the girls who was murdered. We have, which I believe, and I can't remember his name, but the oldest boy, because it kind of sounds like an older boy versus the younger boys. I don't know what she was gonna do, but the EVP was no, Lena, no. So as
Hmm.
because and we did hear from another psychic, I just caught it on a show, so I don't know the validity of it, but she said that Lena likes to mess with the guests. And I found that out after I had gotten the CD.
Okay.
So I'm like, that EVP makes sense. Like maybe she was going to do something, and the older boy's like, no, don't do that. Depending what it was. But yeah, and we had one too when we walked in and we said, is anybody in here? And we had a girl answer, I'm right here. So yeah, just amazing, amazing. And we had REM pod. We had pebbles being thrown at us and stuff. So it was a really cool place. We did go back about 4 years afterwards. Sorry, my allergies are really bad today. About 4 years after, didn't have quite as much interaction or the EVPs and stuff, but we did get a little bit. So it was a little bit different on the second go round. But I love that place, man. It was fun.
That's
Yeah, it always
interesting.
seems
That's
like,
such a potent location.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it always seems when you go into locations multiple times, it's like you're never going to get the same thing.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've been to like Edinburgh Manor's my favorite place. So I've been there like 4 times and it's always different, always. And And even at the lodge and the Boyd house, very different every single time. Sometimes it's off the charts, other times it's a little quiet. And everything just kind of varies on what you're gonna get.
Yeah, yeah, I've been to Edinburgh 3 times now, and every time has been different. That's and then I'll be down there in a couple weeks for 2 nights, and one of the nights kind of fell into my lap where I'm doing a solo down there.
Oh boy, that's gotta be interesting.
So,
I've kind of walked around in the halls a little bit by myself, not in the basement. I never did the basement alone, but that's not because the bad guy down there, but just it's creepy. So it's
oh yeah, the last time we were down there was on Easter, and there was a storm rolling through, so that just made
bad
everything that more creepier in the
ambiance.
basement.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what are some of the experiences you had at Edinburgh?
Well, we had a lot of equipment interaction. I know we were on our first time there, we were upstairs on that first, what I would call the first floor.
Hmm.
Had a motion detector that was in the room that was going into the pool room, the game room.
Okay.
And all of a sudden you would hear go ding, and nobody was, and it did it several times. So then we went down to kind of check it out. Um, we were sitting in the room, and then it wasn't like it was constantly dinging, and it was an occasional dinging. But that, so we go down in there and we're like, hey, does anybody want to come in? We'll play some pool, we'll play some games. Everybody who wants to come in, come on in. And all of a sudden it went ding, 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 like 7 times. And I'm like, okay, well, welcome everyone. So it's like,
Yeah.
so and then we've had like a door slam shut, been touched there. Excellent EVPs. And I think that what tugs at my strings, which I've never had contact with that little girl. I don't even know if she's still there anymore. I don't know. Maybe she's moved on. But we had good interaction playing games with her and things like that. And then it was like 3 in the morning. I said, okay, well, we're gonna go and we're gonna go to bed now. So we'll see you later. And as I left and the door shut, you heard her say, I'm gonna miss you, like just plain as day. And I was like, oh man. So that really always brought me back, I think, several times, and never ever got contact with her again.
Well, I can
Oh.
definitely tell you she is still there
Okay, good, good.
because on Easter, like, I've been doing investigations now for a little over a year. But my daughter and our other team member, Piper, were in the kids' room, and by far the best piece of evidence we've ever gotten. So Natalie had the wherewithal to have her phone recording on one of the nightstands when they were in there. I don't even know what they were really doing in there, but Natalie was sitting on one of the beds, and you hear clear as day a little girl go, "Hello."
Wow.
So she's definitely still there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And like at the time, I was down in the boiler room or the laundry room, and then another team member was outside doing B-roll footage, and then our other team member was up on the or what you would second, third floor, whatever you want to call it,
Right, right.
like on the opposite end. So there was nobody else near him, but yeah, you could tell it was a little girl.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
But like every time I've been there, it's like the most interaction I've had has something to do with the kids. Like my first time there, heard kids running down the hallway right away. Second time there in the kids' room, had a antenna of a REM pod snap clear off.
Ooh.
And then that third time, the hello. But so it's always been something with the kids.
Yeah, I've since I've gone back, it's for me, it's always been like crabby men patients, getting
Mm.
keys from them and that kind of thing. So I've been kind of with the adults. But then I think I kind of hit it because I do work in the medical field. So I try to like just sometimes come in and play the nurse part. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I get a lot of reaction from that too.
But
So,
like for me being a dad, I think the kids like, hey, this guy's a dad, and they know it.
right.
That's fascinating though.
So I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen on my fourth trip there, like when I'm there alone.
Yeah, that would
Mhm.
be definitely interesting. I don't know. I've tried. I've tried to go off by myself, like I'm gonna be brave, I'm gonna do it. And I don't get very far, I'll tell you that. I come back.
I'll be honest, I'm a little freaked out and not knowing what to expect, but I'm like, at least it's a location that I'm familiar with
Right,
versus a
right.
location I've never been to.
Yeah, yeah. And I've spent the night at Boyd by myself, but I feel it's a little different because it's my place and I know the spirits and I've done things like usually when I'm by myself, I'm like, hey, I love you guys, but no shenanigans today, okay? Because I'm just here, so we're just gonna like pretend nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So,
So what brought you to the Boyd house and purchasing that?
well, like I said, I always wanted a place of my own, so I just kind of started looking. My realtor knew what I wanted, or like what I was. I wanted a haunted location, but people don't advertise that their house is haunted.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
and so pretty much did all the footwork. She just set up the appointments. But I looked at several houses. I even looked at churches. Got a little bit of stuff here, there, whatever. But when I came across Boyd House, it was like I wouldn't say I'm like psychic or anything like that, but I have a really good intuition and real good feel of things. I'm pretty spot on about that. So I just was immediately attached to the house. Like I knew this was the house, even before I went and looked at it. So we set up an appointment to look at it. I did a mini investigation. Just sitting outside waiting for the realtor, I kind of felt like something was staring outside the window.
Hmm.
I confirmed it with my teammate because usually we don't say things exactly like what we're feeling. And I'm like, what are you getting from here? And she's like, I feel like someone's staring at us from the attic window. So it was just kind of interesting that, we had the same kind of feel. When we went in the house, now mind you, it's been vacant for a very long time, but we did get on the spirit box and woman say, who are you? Which makes sense because who am I?
Right.
So, and then our REM pod we had up in what is now the library, we had that went off in about 15 minutes of us putting it up there. So that was pretty good. Then I kind of just reached out to a psychic that I trust. She told me a couple things that came true after I purchased the property. And now that I have it, I've had people come forward that they had visited, with the previous family as they were children growing up with their family. Some of they would have experiences at the house too. The family that lived there, only one of the children in the home experienced paranormal. The other family members did not, which is not uncommon that,
Hmm.
that kind of things happen too. So but there is a lot of history and stories that have come forward with the Boyd House. So yeah, just making all kinds of connections while we're there.
So what's the most crazy experience you've had since purchasing it?
Uh a lot. I've been touched. Audible voices. Um just I think that's probably I think I've had amazing experiences, but I think the first time that I stayed there, um I was walking in between the little hallway there where to go down to the basement door.
Hmm.
As I walked by, all of a sudden I got bam, 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 like three, like somebody was on the other side knocking, and it was three knocks. And it was super loud. Of course, it freaked me out because I was not expecting that. So I like jumped and ran a little bit. And then I'd like try to debunk it. I'm like, okay, well, like, was it airflow? Was it like, but there was no airflow. There's that you've been there, like the
Yep.
stairs go down and then there's double doors. So even if there is a little airflow, it's not enough to make a three
Yeah.
bam bams. So yeah, that was probably pretty crazy that we had that happen. That was on the first night that I stayed there.
Yeah. It's like for Natalie and I, we've been there twice, and it's the only location so far where we've been run out of there twice. Not really a bad running out. It's just like unexpected things. Like our first time was, I can't remember what month it was, but we got there, set up equipment, did an abandonment, kind of went and walked around the neighborhoods, and then came back, and we were only there 2 hours until like 10 o'clock. She wasn't feeling well. on spirit box session. She got Jesus and the devil, and that kind of freaked her out. And she's like, I'm just not feeling well. I don't want to be here. Well, we didn't realize at 10 o'clock that they have the tornado sirens go off.
Oh yeah.
It scared the crap out of her. She's like, okay, I'm done. We need to leave. And it's like, as soon as we left, she totally felt fine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there was something there that was bothering her. And then the second time we were there, it was like 2 in the morning. We got done investigating. Things were kind of winding down. My friends Chad and Tina went upstairs to sleep in the guest room. Well, Natalie and I are downstairs in the living room, each sleeping on a recliner. Well, she wasn't really sleeping. I see her arm reaching over to me. I'm like, oh, what does she want? She goes, I can't sleep. Can we drive home? Well, for us, it's a 2.5 hour drive home. But so, like, we're laying there, and we knew Marcus and Tina were upstairs sleeping. And then we heard something running around on the floors. It's like, I go, I'm not even going to go up there and check what the heck that is. And it's like, she's like, just a look on her face. She goes, we need to leave. So, pretty sure it was because people talk about the ghost cat. I'm pretty sure it was a cat running around at 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 2 a.m. cat zoomies, they all have them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do. They
But
do.
like the thing is, Tina and Marcus, they never heard a thing.
Hmm.
And then, well, it's kind of funny. I swear I told Tina that we had left in the middle of the night, but I guess I never did. And they found out on that through a podcast that we had ditched them in the middle of the night. But yeah, we've gotten, a lot of great stuff in the times we've been there. And I remember one time I had the Phasm cam going up in the attic, and we were all downstairs and going back and watching the footage. It was the camera was facing towards the front of the house, and I saw some lights through the one window that's like right on the towards the front of the house on the street. But it's like I had no idea what those lights were. And it's like it couldn't be a car because you're so high up and there's trees. So I was like, never really did figure out
Mm,
what that was.
that's spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen any lights. I haven't seen any shadows myself either, but one of my teammates have seen a shadow a couple times, like peeking around the corner, like when she's sitting in the parlor or the living room, she'll see him like by that door that goes up to the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of time, and a lot of people do see people peeking in. At that, my husband's actually seen an apparition of a woman standing up on the stairwell. He came in
Hmm.
through the front door. He was carrying a box, and this was during the day. And he looked up and he saw this woman standing on the stairs with, kind of like she said, similar hair to like mine, but she was all in white. So he goes, for a second, I thought it was you. And then I looked away, I looked back up, she was gone. And it was at that point that he realized he actually saw an apparition in the house,
Nice.
which I'm jealous of because he's not even a ghost person. So I've never seen a full-blown apparition. So
It's always the non-believers.
Yeah.
it is. It is. I mean, I've seen shadow people, but I've never seen
Mhm.
full-blown apparition, So, and I honestly, I'm not sure how I'd react to that. But
So, do you know who any of the ghosts are?
yeah, for sure, we know a couple of them. So we have Fred Eckart and Minnie Eckart. So they are pretty much the main characters of the house. So they bought it. The house was built in 1901. They moved in 1912. They actually owned one of the fancier stores in town, so they sold more high-end goods. They
Mm,
shoes, fur coats. They made their own bologna. He helped build the Lutheran church. He was on the school board. He was on the fire department. He was justice of the peace. So as you can see, he was a very well in, enjoyed man of town. He was very generous, very kind man. He passed away in the home. Minnie passed away in the home.
okay.
Minnie's funeral was held in the home for 3 days. Two of their children passed away in the home. One was
Okay.
one was in infancy, and then one was, I believe, he was 2 or 3. He had actually choked to death.
Mm.
So
Oh no.
he had passed away. We have a couple of other children. ghost in the house. I don't know who they are, but they're more, I'm thinking like 7 and 11. I think they're brother and sister, and we've had a couple psychics say they don't really know where they came from, but they just like your house. Uh,
Oh.
so they just kind of hang out quite often. I get that interaction with them as well. So, but I think too, doing a lot of what we've done to the house as far as paranormal investigating, it's a possibility that a portal may have been opened.
Mm.
I've had some interaction with Fred that was told that, yeah, there is a portal in the house, and now he just helps the spirits that come through and it gives them something to do. Um,
That's so funny you say that because as you were talking about it, that like the thought passed through my mind, like, oh, I wonder if there's a portal there. So
yeah,
that's so interesting.
yeah, but we've never had, I mean, me personally, and I feel like a lot of the things that are in the guest book and things like that, nothing malevolent, nothing evil. We
Mhm.
have a couple crankers, of course, you're gonna get those. But for the most part, everything's really friendly, very entertaining. They like
Mhm.
to interact with the people. So that's just the experience that I would say a majority of people get. Not saying that some people don't have some negative experiences, but then again, it's how you perceive it. Maybe you brought it with you. I don't really know.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, there's so many different ways that could go.
right, right. And even if, maybe even if it's somebody who's just a what I like to call the passerbyers, maybe
Mhm.
he's the extra cranky one, not demonic, things like that. But um, I also heard that Fred likes to screw with people a lot and likes to say things like demon and evil, just probably for people to go, oh my God, and they freak
Yeah.
out. So, yeah. And of course we've also put a bunch of supposed haunted objects in the home. So
No,
Oh, of course,
I've heard
naturally.
that. I'm like, come on, really?
have no validity to it, but it's just good for the ambiance. So
I
I mean,
remember
yeah.
I remember the last time we were there, it was actually on my birthday night, October 18th, going the 19th. We had a very, well, I didn't play, but other people that were there had a very intense game of poker with Fred.
yep.
And he won every time. A lot of cat ball and flashlight interaction. And
Oh,
it's
I
like,
tell you, yeah, I learned that they love to play cards. There's another game they like to play, and I got it written down. It's some weird game, and I did a terrible rendition of it. I'm sure they were laughing at me, but um, they do love to play poker. They play real, like I said, they play well. They win really good. I use the K2 a lot as a do you want to hit type of thing, and if
yeah,
they K2, we give them the card. Um, and I remember one time I was doing a spirit box at the same time while we were doing it. And I said, well, what do you want to do? You want to hit? You want to stay? What do you want here? And plain as day on the spirit box says, we'll stay. So, so yeah, they do like to play and they're good. They're really
They
good.
sound
oh
like a
yeah, they
fun
are.
bunch.
Let's see what else did I have? There was one other thing that happened there. I can't remember what it is now, but yeah, definitely a great location. I'm not a big fan of like investigating houses, but that's like one that, I could keep going back to.
Yeah. It like I said, it's always different. Every single time you go, you just, like I think I'm making connection with a particular spirit and then I never hear from them again. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if they're like one of the passerbyers or things, but I do feel like the Eckarts are part of my family as well. I spent a lot of time there. When I'm there, I'm cleaning. I don't get as much chance to do investigating when I'm
Mm-hmm.
there, but I spend more time talking to them and just, asking things, like I'm always having a voice recorder running, of course, in case I catch something, but it's more like, well, how was your week? So this week, this is what I did. Oh, I'm going to a wedding. You ever been to a wedding? Just things like that. So I just kind of make that and anything that I hear that they want, or I have actually talking with the great grandson. His name is Fred Eckert as well. He lives in town, and I've talked to him in great detail about things about the family, things you'll never find in a book. So, like, Minnie's favorite things are ferns, things like that you would never find in a book. So we've bought her fake fern. She loves that fern. I actually went to go move it one time to dust, and she said out loud, "Leave it." So we heard that. So I don't know if she thought I was going to take it or what, but yeah. So I try to spend a lot of time with my spirits more in a non-investigating. I feel like they get enough of that
Mm-hmm.
coming through. So I'm never like, here, touch the REM pod or anything. I'll throw one up and I don't expect them to do anything, but it'll get my attention. Usually it's more because I'm always shopping for the dead at the antique shops, I say. So so then usually when I bring them something new, I'll just put like a REM pod by it. And 90% of the time when I'm there, I don't have the cameras running, and maybe that's why I get a lot of interaction, because I feel like sometimes they don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just, then I can have that interaction like, oh, good, you like that, and so we just kind of go with that. So uh, I'm just really respectful, and I take that into any of the investigations that I do. We like to focus more on their life than their death. I'm usually not like, how'd you die? Because I usually know. And if you don't know, well, nobody wants to rehash that anyway. So let's talk about your favorite color. What did you like to do when you had free time? And what was your favorite book and your favorite music and your favorite
Mm-hmm.
and so these are things that we try to tend to focus, and I think that gets us a little bit more interaction with the spirits because they're like, oh, they too want to know about me.
Yeah. And then what is it? September 28th, I think it is. You have a convention going on out there.
Yeah, September 27th. So
27th.
yeah, Saturday, September 27th. So I just thought, what the heck? I'm just going to do a paranormal convention like I don't have anything else to do. So I just thought it would be kind of fun to do. I just wanted to bring forward. There's a lot of people that I've met through these many, many years of investigating, and lots of great people. But I thought let's put together something with, more of these lesser known people, but they're just as good as the famous people in my eyes. And let's just give them a little bit of the limelight. So I'm making it a little bit different. We got, the usual, the vendors, we got speakers and different workshops. We have investigate the Boyd House with the Earthly Imprint Paranormal. Just a few tickets left on that one. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a great, great event. So hopefully a lot of people can come out for that.
So where actually out there you having like the event, not the investigations? Because I know like the property is not big enough to do something like that.
Right, right. So what we're doing is the town hall, which is about a minute walk down the street. So it's at the end of town. That's where the speakers and the vendors will be at. And then we're doing the workshops over at the Boyd House. And then so those are limited to 20, yeah, we're doing 20 people um for per workshop. So we got like a couple meetings, like Brooke Ashley's doing a medium thing with just a psychic gallery reading. Heidi Steffen, she's going to be doing a seance. And then Hawk Horvath is going to be kind of doing a little talk about ghost hunting 101. We got Lindsay Goldale, and she's a animal communicator. So she'll be doing, so no pets allowed, but she'll be doing that. But she's also a medium. Um, and then we have one of my teammates, Teresa Moore. She is like hands down the best Estes person I've ever seen in my life. And she'll be doing an Estes session with people just to see what we get. And then, we have a couple other, Casey Constance, another psychic medium. She's going to do a talk on past life regression. And then Reaper Paranormal is going to come out, and they've been to the Boyd House a couple times, so they're going to kind of talk about their experiences and the evidence that they've purchased. So yeah, we got a lot. Adrian Lee, if people know him, he's one of the people who founded the International Paranormal can't talk Society, several books, and so he's going to be there doing a speaking talk too.
Nice. Sounds like a great lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Looks like we got a lot of positive interactions. Right now sales have been going good. So you can pre-buy your tickets, especially if you don't want to miss out on the workshops, being limited. Otherwise, everything's available at the door as well. So,
All right. All right, let's shift gears a little bit, unless Hannah's got something else she wants to talk about the Boyd House.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So let's jump down to Illinois and the Masonic Lodge. When did that come onto your radar?
that was in 2023. Like I said, I wanted to just try my hand at a bigger building. Was not really planning on being in Illinois, being as I'm in Minnesota. But as I was searching through the internet, I'm like, oh my God, look at this building. So I had to have the building. So I went and took a look at it. Kind of went through, didn't get a lot on any interaction. I could feel something was there for sure. But when I got home, we got a couple of EVPs. Like one was I can see you. And then we had a little kid that said body. And I thought to myself, well, now why would we hear a little kid? Like, this is kind of weird. This is a Masonic lodge. This doesn't make any sense. But now that I've owned it and have done some research, so originally in the 1800s, so it was built in 1861. It was the second building erected in the town of Keysburg. It was actually the Arlington Hotel from the 1800s to the 1900s. Was also used as a brothel. So there's just a lot of with history with that. And then it became the Masonic Lodge in the 1900s up until about 2010. Then they could no longer maintain it. So the Masonics sold it to somebody who's going to use it as an event center and did nothing with it. And then I purchased it. So it's been vacant for a really long time. But it's just an incredible building, so much history, so many spirits, and just a lot of work and restoration needs to be done to it. But I just love that building.
Yeah, it is definitely unique. When I was there about a year ago with Gray Duck Paranormal, it's
Okay.
funny you say I can see you because when we first got there, we were doing our walkthrough. Griffin heard that same thing.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're very intelligent. They're very well aware of what is going on. I've had some so like the first time my team stayed there, was kind of fun to have it because we just create, with your teammates, you could just get a whole different vibe and a whole different energy going. It was just crazy that night, but Teresa was in the kitchen making a sandwich and we had everything shut up because it was November and cold. So we had one room, we had a propane heater going in. And all of a sudden I just heard this loud bam. And I thought, oh my God, she dropped the cooler on the floor. How could she have dropped the cooler on the floor? This is like what I thought. She comes busting through the door and she's like, oh my God, something just slammed something behind me. So we go in there, we look around, and as you know, there's really nothing there,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like, things to fall and such. So we slammed a cupboard door. She's like, that's it, that's the sound. And then we went in the other room and someone did it. And I'm like, yep, that's the same exact sound we heard. So we determined that, at least we believe it was the cupboard being open and slammed shut. Later, when we were doing an Estes session, they gave us the name of a spirit, Harold, that did it and he thought it was funny. So that's what we were told. But and then when we've heard like the doorknobs rattling, like somebody's trying to open the doors come open. I've had incredible energy in that place where I just feel it swirling around me and it's very electrical. We have zero power in the building. So for me, it's really cool when like any of your equipment goes off, especially any EMF type equipment, because now we don't have power. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
that interaction that's going to potentially, because a lot of times when I go place, I'm like, I don't know, has anybody got their phone? Are you buying an outlet? It's just I don't like a lot of the EMF equipment just based on that. So a little bit more for me valid working at this location. And I think the coolest one I ever had is I had a tripwire and I was in that back blue room, um,
Yep.
which was actually the serving area for food. That's what that room was used for. But everybody had gone next door to the gas station to get coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I'm by myself. I had the tripwire like going directly coming at me. I grabbed one of the Mason books I have and I was reading a prayer out of it. And I was like, how was that? Did you like that prayer? And then all of a sudden I could feel this electrical energy. And one by one, those tripwires lit up as it came at me. And then just as it got to me, I felt like this jolt or this shot of electric energy onto my foot. And I had to pull my foot up off the ground, almost like I touched an electric fence. It was just, and then it was just gone. And I was just like, well, that was weird. So, um, but yeah, and even upstairs, I had that same electrical feel, not just like it's around me. And some of my REM pods were doing weird temperature changes and I was like, I don't know, is this you guys? Are you guys doing this? Like, can you just like let me know like somehow this is you and not something else? And all of a sudden, every single REM pod that I had up there, I had three of them, I had two in one room and one in the adjacent room. They all went off at the same time. And I was like, okay, well, thanks. So
Yeah,
Oh,
one of the
very
most
intelligent, very intentional interactions.
oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
And we've had combinations, so it's a whole gamut of spirits that and like I said, we just got it really technically. It's been a year and a half now that we've been open, so we're just kind of learning who's there. But we do have the gamut. We have children, we have men, we have women, we have people from the law, the Masons, we have people that are from that are prostitutes. So we kind of have everybody in
Hmm.
this location. So you just never know who you're gonna reach that day.
I think one of the most crazy things that I've ever happened to date. It was my over there was only my third investigation, but like out of everything I've done since then, like the most crazy thing happened. So like Grady was under an Estes. His sister and I were sitting at the same table. She got really like physically sick where she had to, leave and go outside and get some fresh air because she thought she was going to throw up. Grady said the whole entire time he felt like there was somebody standing behind him, pressing down on his shoulders. And then I was sitting there where I was awake for everything, but I felt like I was sleeping, but still realizing what was going on. It was like where we all three had to go outside. It was like that intense.
Yeah, interesting that you say the weight on the shoulder with the Estes because we did an Estes. What room were you in when that happened?
We were in the dining area,
Okay, we
like
when we
at all the tables.
yeah, when we did ours, we were up in the main lodge area.
Mm-hmm.
But Teresa, while she was doing it, then she just out loud verbalized. She goes, "I don't know what's going on, but something is really leaning on my shoulders, and I can't. It's got to get off me." So that we told it to back off, and it did. But she literally was just said somebody was just like
Yeah.
pressing on her. So yeah, probably the same person.
And then there was another instance, like later on the night, we were all up in the main hall and I heard something downstairs. It's like, well, I'm going to go down there and check it out. So I'm the only one down there. And like back in the blue room, it's like, I heard something in there. I'm like, what is going on over there? So I shine my flashlight down there. Of course, camera's not facing that way, but I saw something scurry across the floor, stop, and then go back down into the basement. I'm like, somebody needs to get down here because I'm not alone. I have
Mm-mm, mm-mm. When it
no
starts
idea.
scurrying, I'm out.
I have no idea what it was.
First, I thought you were gonna say it was a mouse or something. You
Oh
were saying,
no, this was
like,
10 times bigger than a mouse. It was like a person or something.
yeah, and we've had a lot of people that have investigated see a lot of shadow figures and that type of thing. When I bought it, I didn't know any of the, like I said, I didn't know any history, but now we have so many people in town come forward and tell me different stories and such. The very first week I was there just kind of cleaning, getting things ready, one of the master masons stopped by. He said he'd been a mason there for many, many years. Then after he did his little introduction, he said, "Have you seen her?" And I says, "Who?" And he goes, "The woman, the lady in white." He goes, "I've seen her multiple times when I'm here cleaning by myself. She roams the
Hmm.
halls." And so I was like, "No, I haven't, but um, so a lot of people have come forward and said that they've seen the lady in white. And another story we have where a woman came in, there was in the dining room, a lady on her hands and knees scrubbing the floor. She said hello. They said hello back. She walks in the kitchen to ask her friends, "Who's scrubbing the floor?" They're like, "There's nobody scrubbing the floor." They go back out there, there's nobody there. So just yeah, different, a lot of history going on with different spirits that are there. So again, I don't know who and what yet. But we're all working at it too. So
Mhm.
And like one other thing I just thought of, so like, when we first got there, we set up equipment and went to the bar to eat. And I had my video camera down in the basement in the crawl space. And, I probably recorded for a good hour, but like the whole time, it's like, as you said, there's no electricity or anything in the place, but you kept hearing like, I don't even know how to really describe the noise, but like a loud hum or like machinery during the whole video. I'm like, there's nothing on down here.
yeah, yeah, there's no power whatsoever.
So
So
it's like, still haven't really pinpoint what it was, but it almost sounded like, be a hum of like ventilation or something. But I'm like, well, there's nothing down here, especially in the crawl space.
right, yeah. Which I've never gone into because I'm too chicken and I don't want to crawl around in there, but I just wonder what kind of treasures are in there.
Yeah, I was going to, but I'm like, maybe the next time I'm down here.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I blocked it off now because we got, like I was telling you earlier, we finally got a bathroom in there, so I don't want to
Okay.
be messing with the piping and stuff that just got redone in there. So, but yeah, so I'm sure somebody found a deck of cards in there, so they said it was like up in the rafters. So
Interesting.
Or
yeah,
maybe they like playing poker there too.
well, I don't know if it's that or some weird ritual thing. We don't know.
That's
And who
true.
knows what those Mason people did?
I, you know, I just had the thought while Matthew was talking about the humming. What if that was connected to the Freemasons? What if it's like residual, like mm, kind of something from a ritual?
Possible.
Yeah, you never, yeah, because energy is just a imprint. So
Yeah,
they,
they just layer themselves up there. They just stay there. So
But like what I always want to do is like, you know, uh, at some point in time, like do both your locations at the same time and see if maybe since you've been to both, there's some connection to the both of them.
yeah, it would be interesting for
it
sure.
would be interesting to do almost like a long distance Estes, if you are finding a connection or something and see if maybe there's something going on like that.
Yeah, it would be interesting to do that. I know my friend did one time. So one of my other teammates brought some coworkers to the Boyd house and did an Estes session remotely um with Teresa, and that was really incredible because I just watched on my security cameras just to see the whole thing going on. So yeah, it was spot on. It was crazy. It was at the time. So we have in the back basement room, there's a spirit George. Um, he's crabby. He doesn't like people in his area. Um, we've fought a lot, but now we're good. We're all cool. But I wanted to, he wanted that room back there red. And I'm like, I can't paint it red, George, because we already have the library, it's red, and I can't do two red rooms. Plus, I think for resale, if I ever had to resell it. So it's like, so I'm like, I'm not doing it. So I said, how about red brick? Like, is brick okay? Like it's red, and he was not happy with that. Um, so he's like during this spirit box session that they were doing remotely, Alex goes, "Do you like what Jill did to the room?" And he's like, "No, red." He goes, "Take it down. I don't want it there." Because we had put up like peel and stick brick looking,
Mhm.
Okay.
or yeah, so he wanted us to take it down, or he wanted Alex to take it down. He's like, "I can't take it down." He's like, "Well, can you ask her if you can take it down?" He's like, so But we've compromised now, and George is okay with it because I gave him a little bottle of whiskey. It's not real whiskey, but I gave him, stuff he wanted, except slippers. I still got one pair of slippers.
So, any other plans in the future to buy a third location, or are you just kind of content with two?
Well, I would love a third one, as my husband says I'm insane and I'm never going to retire. So, um, I do shop around. I probably would like to, but I gotta put a lot of time and effort and money into the lodge. So once we get that restored, and by having people come in and do investigations, that helps with that. The plumbing was no cheap venture at all.
Oh, I'm sure.
It needs a new roof, and that was quoted between 20 and 30 grand to get that
Oof.
done. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that need to go into it first. So once I get those squared away, then I could consider, unless I win the lottery, getting another location. But we did the same thing with Boyd. We ended up, doing new roof and all kinds of stuff to it. And then it's still got ongoing maintenance things that we continue to have to do. So, um, again, it's not a money maker by any means. I do it for the passion of
Hmm.
I do it for the upkeep, the history, and I love to see what other people get. So that really brings me a lot of great joy when I see people have a great time, and present really good evidence. So yeah, I strive to make it a positive experience at either location, for people because I want them to have a good time.
So, for you investigating, do you have any investigations coming up this year?
Well, our team is as we used to go like once a month, but everybody's life changed, as we do as we grow up. So now we just kind of get together once a year and do one trip. So this next month I don't even think they have a name for it, but it's Craig Nearing and Melissa. They just bought a place in Berlin, Wisconsin. So it's a 4-in-1 combo. So it's a rectory, a school, a church, and a convent. So it's a 4-in-1.
Yep.
So we're gonna go check that out. So that'll be a good one. And but we still get to Boyd and the lodge. Whether I take my husband or one of the teammates, who's ever free that weekend, if they're able to come, uh,
Hmm.
kind of mess around and do that kind of stuff. But yeah, as far as the official trips, because believe me, I got this huge bucket list of places I want to get to. So
Oh, you should see. Hold on. Where is it? I got a list. I think it's 3 pages front and back of like
oh yeah, that's a lot of
Ooh.
lists, like
fun.
just in the country. It's like, so yeah, I got a lot of places I want to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So many places, and then new places pop up, and you're like, oh, I gotta add that one now. So it's like,
Right? It's just like, well, then I heard, I don't know if you're familiar with the Bell Mansion out in Indiana.
yeah, I haven't been there, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
So they are changing ownership at the end of the year, and
Right.
unfortunately, the new owners want nothing to do with the paranormal.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So, like, we're gonna be out in Indiana doing Rhodes Hotel and what the I can't remember. Not so much. We're doing Rhodes Hotel and Ashmore. I'm like, well, we're gonna be right out there. I'm like, I gotta add the Bell Mansion to it because if it's closing, you're never gonna get there.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Yeah, Rhodes and Ashmore are awesome places. I love Ashmore. Well, I love Robin to death. Um, and Ashley too. I'm getting to know Ashley as well, but I love Robin. Um, we actually got a really great apparition that we caught on, well, I wouldn't say apparition, more of a shadow, on film. So I believe it's the third floor. We my we're just taking pictures, and Donna, she used to love just take the digital pictures, and she takes like, I think her record at one location was 2,500 photographs. But she'll just go click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so at the end of the hallway, all of a sudden, this is where the one of the spirits always turns off your camcorders in that area. And it did it like 3 times. And I'm not talking like you come by and the battery's dead or anything. It literally took it to the off position. Like you have to switch the flip,
Oh my
for it
gosh.
to
Okay.
work. So she just happened to keep a picture down there, and we got it's a black person, almost like they're you would almost say like a when you go to a funeral with the whole black whole everything like
Oh,
that,
oh, like a veil and
like a
Yeah.
veil, and
shroud or something.
yeah, and they were standing at the end, but they had her hand on the camera, so you could tell with their height they were about 5 feet, a little over 5 feet because with the height of the camera and stuff. And I'm like, when we caught that, I'm like, wow, that's a really good shot. So it's like, yeah, but just to even
That's
get them with the picture of their hand on our camera, because I'm like, they probably shut it off again. So
that is amazing evidence. Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, we had a ton of other stuff too, but that's I remember that really stood out. So yeah, that's an awesome, awesome location. Roads, I don't remember a ton of stuff. I do remember sitting downstairs, and we were just talking, and I just said, "Hey, if anyone's upstairs, just go ahead and come on down." And then you heard the sound of like boots coming from the hallway, coming towards the stairs. I'm like, "Oh no!" So it's like. So, and then I was holding up a fake gun, and on the spirit box, I said, "What am I holding up?" And it said gun. So that was kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think for like our June road trip I was telling you about, I think Billy Creek will probably be one of the most intense ones just because there's like 30 some buildings and there's going to be like 5 or 6 of us there. So there's going to be a lot of ground to cover that night.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you get into those big type places, it's which backpack
Yeah.
you got.
Um, so yeah, what I can't remember what I was just gonna ask. My brain just kind of froze up here. So bucket list location, if there's one place you could go to that you haven't been, what would it be?
Well, if we're talking US, I would probably on my bucket list right now is the old South Pittsburgh Hospital. I just want to check that out. I guess maybe because I'm in the medical field, some of my favorite places to go to are hospitals, asylums, things like that. Those are just because I think I have a little bit of the medical connection to it. So those are my favorite places to go. But I don't know, something just wants me. I just need to go there. I just know I need to go there.
Yeah, it's from what I've heard, it's a great location. And then I had the Ronnie D on the podcast a month or so ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a lot of good information about that. So it's definitely on our list for next year.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't in Tennessee. It's so far to drive. You
It
know,
is.
I've never tried to fly with equipment. I have people say, "Oh, you just got to do this," and then I'm like, I'm so scared they're going to take my REM pod because they're going to think it's a bomb. I mean, it really is
Right.
a bomb. So it's like, so yeah, I've never actually flown with equipment, but yeah, I would totally love to get my own chauffeur someday.
Yeah. So for if you had to pick a place out of the country,
Oh, I don't know if any specific place, but like any of the castles, like in Ireland or anything like that would be really super cool. Just
Me
to
and you are on the same page.
try. So I think that would just be just a really fun thing to do. Just me and my teammate Teresa have talked about it. Maybe in a couple years, um, we could maybe just go to just do that for like a whole week. Just go to Ireland and just check out all those places. I think that'd be kind of fun.
well, if you decide when you're going to Ireland, I want to go and I got a connection over there.
Okay, cool.
I got a personal tour guide that
Nice.
goes, if you ever come over to Ireland, I will take you all to all the hot spots.
Cool. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
So, Hannah, how about you? Bucket list locations.
Bucket list location, we're actually going to be going to this month, Waverly Hills. I'm just starting my investigating uh and everything, so Waverly Hills has been a dream bucket list for in the country. Um Otherwise outside of the country, I would love to go to oh my goodness, why am I blanking on the name? The castle in Transylvania.
Oh,
Dracula's
yeah,
castle.
Yes, Draco, yes, that castle.
You and me both.
There's a couple places in the Czech Republic as well, but yeah, there's Lord knows there's always going to be places that need to be explored.
oh, that's for sure.
Well, speaking of Waverly Hills, wait until you hear the story that Natalie and I will be dropping from our first experience at Waverly Hills. It's something
Excited.
we talk about almost daily for like pretty much the last year. It's something that happened there that we can't explain. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now.
Okay. All
Don't want
right.
to ruin the
I can't wait to
surprise.
hear it.
So let's see what else. I don't know if I really have anything else. I think I covered everything that I had on my mind.
Um, I don't know, just kind of a more fun question, I guess. Are there any spirits at either of your locations, Jill, that you are concerned about, or like ones that particularly give you problems and it's a little less fun to deal with?
No, not really. I mean,
That's
everybody's
good.
been, like I said, we have a really good rapport. So yeah, I think they look forward to me being there. I know a couple times, like probably the second people that ever came to investigate, like right away, one of their EVPs was, "Where's Jill?" So like they didn't, I don't think they understood really what was happening because you probably believe it was me or I was bringing people with me. So this was, yeah, a little bit different for them. So, and they'll frequently ask for me by name and things like that. So, uh,
That's so sweet. I love that you have that connection with them and that you just generally have positive locations. It's refreshing to hear for one, but it's really cool. I love that for you, genuinely.
yeah, and I was told by a medium too. He said that and maybe this is why I sleep really well. Not a lot of people sleep well at the White House, but I sure do. Um, he said that Minnie really watches over you when you're sleeping and protects you because she doesn't want them to bother you because you clean the house and she appreciates it, so she wants you to sleep all night.
Oh my goodness, that is
So
so sweet.
I
I love
always
that.
I always feel really safe and protected in that house. Like even if there was something bad, I'm pretty sure Minnie'd be at the door like, nope.
Oh, I
Oh yeah,
bet.
she's got your back.
Yep.
Well, good. I'm really happy to hear that.
So yeah.
All right. Well, with that, how we always end the podcast is give you a minute or two to plug your socials where people can find you, the locations, and all that good stuff.
Sure. So if for the Boyd House, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook. Otherwise, our website is boydhouse217.com. That'll have all the information there for you if you want to book an investigation. Also got a lot of information about the upcoming convention as well. So that'll help you out if you want to get tickets and things like that. And then with the Masonic Lodge, same thing on Facebook. Otherwise, our website is haunted1861masonic.com. Apologize for the long one that I chose when I did it. But yeah, again, all the information's there if you wanted to book a night at the lodge as well.
And I highly recommend both locations.
Thank you.
And I will hopefully get back to the lodge sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's been getting a little bit more and more active again, I think, with people coming in and getting a little more energy as
Mm-hmm.
well. We did our first event there actually with Eternal Paranormal. We did that in May. We had such a really good success that actually we're doing it again on September 9th, I believe it is. So we still have 11 spots left available for that, and they can just reach out on the Eventbrite for information on that.
All right. Well, we thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure
Yes.
talking with both of you.
Yeah, it
And
was so nice to talk with you. Thank you.
yep. All right, everybody, have a good night and we will stay in touch.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.